Before I continue with today's video, I just wanted to say thank you for all those who have commented and are still commenting to this day on my last video regarding the iPad Pro and Magic Keyboard. I said I was struggling with the way, I opened this, and apparently I was doing it wrong because you guys came along and sure enough, showed me the error of my ways. So I just wanted to say thank you again. Now, noted, and I will remember that because I'm apparently not an expert with opening keyboards. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some work done. Oh, sorry. I didn't notice you with my noise canceling headphones on. So years ago, I didn't have a dedicated office space. I actually didn't have a dedicated desk. What I did have was a bunch of furnitures kind of strung together to make a temporary workspace, which also meant that that workspace was in the middle of the busiest area of the house. So there were distractions everywhere. Kids playing around, people yelling, dogs barking. So trying to get work done was like trying to conduct brain surgery while a chimpanzee was jumping on top of my head. And since I couldn't really get rid of my family because apparently murdering is wrong, I had to settle for getting a pair of headphones. Headphones help me tune out all the distractions, and I think this might prove useful, especially for you if you are new to this work from home lifestyle. So my personal favorite are these Bose QC35-2s because of the comfort, the sound, and the sound isolation. Actually, the only problem with this is it's pretty expensive. And so you're like, oh no, what do I have to sell? Which arm do I have to sell now to buy a pair of headphones? Fear not, because you actually don't have to spend a lot of money to get a decent pair. And so as an alternative to this, I'm going to share with you 3 different brands, which I think you might want to consider, even as your first pair of headphones. They differ in a few different aspects. Let's go check them out. For this test, I wanted to see how well they block out sound. Nothing too complicated, mainly just the sound of the microwave, the vacuum cleaner, or washing the dishes. Normal everyday stuff. We'll start off with the Tautronics SoundSurge 55. You've probably heard of the name Tautronics before. They're one of the best-selling wireless headphones on Amazon. This is also the most expensive on this list at $115. Overall, it obviously feels plasticky, and the bands aren't quite as nice as I was hoping for. But the leather feels nice and soft, and that goes for the ear cups as well, which means they're very comfortable when you wear them. The buttons are tactile, but they do feel a little cheap. The ANC button basically lets you toggle between the different modes. These are virtually the same size as the Bose QC35s. You can even fold them almost in a similar way. But once you place them in the case, it's kind of a different story. It's just way bigger than the Bose. While the case does provide ample protection, it's just a little bit too big for my taste. The sounds that come out of these Tautronics are decent. They're a little lacking on the bass side, but they're not too bad. Up next, we have the Tribit Quiet Plus headphones. These also are noise-canceling headphones and are currently the cheapest in this list at $79. When it comes to build quality, these Tribits are surprisingly nice. They actually feel better than the SoundSurge 55 for some reason. I think they're just a little bit tighter in every sense. The leather feels nice and soft, and the buttons don't feel that cheap. Unfortunately, there's really very little room for adjustability. You can only fold it in this way, basically. But I do like the feel of the buttons and the dedicated toggle switch for the noise cancellation. At first, the case looks like it's small, but actually if you compare it next to the Bose, it's rather thick. This being the cheapest in this list, it delivers okay sound, and honestly, the ANC is actually kind of bad. And they're not really that comfortable. Lastly, we have the Status Audio BT1 wireless on-ear headphones. Yes, they're on-ear, they're not over the ear, but I think you need to consider these. They are by far the lightest and smallest of the bunch. This one is priced at $99 and it does not have noise cancellation. The leather feels nice and soft and they feel kind of premium. These are also almost fully collapsible, so they can be very, very small when you're traveling. The buttons feel tactile, and I do like the toggle switch for turning it on and off. Out of the three, the case for this is the best one. It feels premium, and it's just as small, actually a little bit smaller than the Bose. Granted, they are a smaller pair of headphones, but you know. So these don't have noise cancellation, but I included it in the list because the sound that come out of these are actually great. They're comfortable, and I think they are actually the best looking ones as well. So verdict. So this test turned out to be a little bit interesting because I started off reviewing 3 headphones, and as I was doing some research just yesterday, I found something really interesting about one of them. But before that, I want to summarize my thoughts on these individual headphones. So the Taotronics Sound Surge 55 are actually a really good pair of headphones for $115. Give or take. I think they are the most comfortable among all 3 of them. The sound is actually decent. There's a lack of bass, so they're not like the Bose where it's obviously tuned to be more friendly to pop music, I guess. But I think the thing that I find most impressive about this one is the active noise cancellation, because they are actually really good. I could do with one less mode, basically office mode. I don't think it's necessary. I just want it on, off, and ambient mode. And the fact that you have just one dedicated button to toggle between those 3 modes, you're basically cycling through them. It's kind of annoying. The case could be a little bit smaller, but I think that's just a limitation of the way how stiff this headband is. So overall, I would say these are really a good pick. I guess I really wouldn't be surprised. Taotronics have a really good reputation on Amazon. The ANC is so good that I was wearing this when I was in the kitchen and, preparing my meal, and I didn't even hear the microwave. I didn't hear the vacuum cleaner that was going on. We have a little robo vacuum, and it's usually pretty loud, and I didn't even hear it. If noise cancellation is your thing, I would pick this out of all 3 of them. The highlights for me would be noise cancellation and the comfort, because these are actually pretty comfortable. For the Tribit Sound Surge, this is a little tough for me to say, but I'm very disappointed with these. When I first held them in my hands, they felt high quality because of, I don't know, the type of plastic that they use. They just feel good, and they feel secure, and they don't feel loose at all. It just feels good. Like even the leather feels good, but unfortunately there's barely enough give on the ear cups when you're wearing them, and it's like it doesn't even move around. So the comfort is lacking. And then we get to the sound, and it's like it's just okay. And then, unfortunately, the ANC, which I do like how it has a dedicated switch, but there's almost no difference with it being on and off. I thought at first that it was, I don't know, maybe like there was a mistake or I was doing something wrong, but they're that bad. So considering the price, when I was looking at the price for this a few days ago, it was around $79. So $80 for okay sound, better than your average build quality, I guess. It's still plastic, and okay comfort. They're not really that comfortable, if I'm being honest. So for $80, I mean, that's all it's got going for it. I will admit that these are my favorite. The Status Audio BT1, they don't have noise cancellation, and yes, they're technically on-ear headphones. They're not really over the ear where it completely cups your ear, but I think they're worth including in this review because they sound awesome. They really do. These are one of my favorite headphones. And for $100, 99 bucks, it's got basic features, right? So, but the buttons feel good, the materials feel really nice, and it's lightweight, and it's got the smallest form factor out of all these 3. And so it's easier to pack and just take with you anywhere. The interesting part that I wanted to share with you guys is the fact that when I was doing research on this and seeing how much they cost nowadays, I stumbled across something pretty interesting on Amazon. So when I first got these, the brown ones were very, very popular. Actually, I think they're still very popular to this day because if you look this up on Amazon, you'll see that the brown commands a higher price point than the black ones. So the black ones are basically the same thing, it's just a different color. But for some reason, the browns are more expensive. The brown ones are 99 bucks and the black version is $78, which undercuts the Tribbit by a buck. I mean, you know, I'm just gonna put this somewhere right here. I would choose these. If I can afford $100 for a decent pair of headphones, I would definitely get these. But these take second place because they're not that much more expensive, only $15 more, and they are very comfortable and the noise cancellation is really good. So if you're looking for a decent pair of active noise canceling headphones, I would definitely consider these. Well, these are still heavier than the Bose, significantly heavier, but at least the ear cups are very comfortable. Unfortunately, third place goes to this, which I really wanted to like. I really wanted to find something to like about this. Maybe Tribbit has other products that I would have to try to really appreciate, but this one was just a bummer, if I'm being honest. Technically, if you really think about it, this is going to be my first choice. And considering that you can get the BT ones, the status audio, for $1 less than this, I just can't recommend this. Thank you for watching today's review. I hope I've given you enough options to choose from. For ending this video, I would like to invite you to please check out my podcast with Chelsea Horn. And we are basically creative professionals and we talk about life as creative professionals and social media in general. We would like to have you there. Come check us out. Everything that I've discussed in this video are going to be in the links down below as usual. And if you haven't yet, please follow me on Instagram. Thank you again for watching and I'll catch you guys again pretty soon.